Welcome to DDC 7X powered by D&D classes. Today in this session we are going to have a brief overview of the civil service examination conducted by the Assam Public Service Commission. Thousands of aspirants every year appears for this examination, but a very few number of students actually make up to the final list. So what is the difference? Why one category of students are left behind and the other sails the boat? So we need to see what all are the approaches and the strategies that are to be understood, which are actually required by this examination. So first of all, we need to understand the structure in a very brief manner. So here we can see this exam has been conducted in 3 stages. First is the preliminary, then the mains and the interview. Now, if you go systematically, that is, you study about the prelims, then the mains and the interview. But this approach somehow doesn't work for all. So we need to understand that which stage needs what kind of requirement. Now for that matter, we need to see how much marks are allotted to each of these stages, which would make a clear understanding of how much effort is needed for which stage. Now if we see the prelims, which consists of GS and one of the optionals which the candidate opts for. Now both the papers has 100 questions, each carrying 2 marks. So therefore, total of 400 marks. And so, no negative marking is there. Therefore, prelims is just for 400 marks. Now, the next stage comes the mains. So if you qualify the prelims, then you come to the mains, where you have a broader categorization of the subjects. For example, in general studies, there are 300 marks. For optional 1, you have 400 marks, optional 2, 400, and the English for 300. So it's a huge sum. So, and in the interview stage, it is only for 250 marks. Now, what generally students do, they prepare for the prelims and then for the mains and then for the interview, which is not a right approach. Now, then what is the right approach per se? Now, as if we see the analysis of the past few years of the question paper, the trend is that the questions are moving from a traditional platform towards a more dynamic kind of platform. So in that case, what we need to exactly see is the changing pattern of the question paper and also the topics. Now if we see the syllabus, it is a vast syllabus which needs to be covered in a time bound manner and which becomes a challenge for the students. So therefore, if we see the preparation strategy, what exactly must be the preparation strategy, then this is the right approach. What is this? See, when we prepare for mains, automatically your prelims and interview is prepared by you. So, and if we see the nature of the papers of both prelims and mains, we see in prelims it is objective and in mains it is subjective. So therefore, clearly it needs a different approach in both of these stages. Now, when we say prelims is objective, we will have to focus on the concepts as well as the facts of the syllabus. But when it comes to mains, along with the concepts, facts, we also need the analysis of those facts. So therefore, rather than doing it in different slots, what actually should be done, you should study the main syllabus first, from which your prelims is automatically done. Now, if we come to see the syllabus, then we see the mains is the whole, of which prelims is a part and interview is a part. That means if you do the 100% of the main syllabus, your 50% of the prelims syllabus is already done, and same with the interview stage. So what is important, we see in mains there are various subjects which we need to deeply analyze. Now let us see what all are the subjects. Now there is polity, there is economy, there is geography, there is environment, science and tech, and also history. Along with that, the vast current affairs, which includes your state, your national and international events, all are included in it. So therefore, how to manage all these subjects in a time-bound manner is a skill which we need to learn. Now, civil service examination demands a knowledge which is comprehensive in nature. It means that you not only read the subject as a single unit, but read all the subjects as in a comprehensive manner by interlinking one subject with the other. For example, if you see this chart, the current affairs is the main thing from which you relate your polity, your economy, your geography and every other basic subjects. This is what the time demands. Now, for example, I'll give you one example. Suppose a topic, if you get a topic, say, write a brief note on a government policy, say Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Now, how do you approach it? Now, while approaching that answer, you need to know what all are the political consequences, what all are the economic significance, what is the geographic significance, environmental, as well as how science and tech is helping in implementing the policy and making it a success. So therefore, you see, when we approach a question, so we need to have a overall knowledge of all the spheres which are going on in the society. So in mains, we see when we analyze the paper, we find that 50% of the paper is like from the basic or the core, basic part, which we know, which everybody is thorough with. For example, what are the features of the Indus Valley civilization, which everybody can attempt it with lesser effort. But what makes the difference is the other 50%, or say, let's say 40%. These are the questions which are dynamic in nature, and these are the questions which actually determines a candidate's failure or success in mains. So the point is how to approach this question, because nobody knows what is going to come exactly, which topics are to be asked in the examination. So these topics, to attempt these topics, this formula is important, where you learn the interlinkage between all the subjects. So as this 40% of the question paper actually decides your success, therefore you need to be very clear about how to approach these questions. And when you appear for the mains, you cannot afford to leave a 20 marks question or a 10 marks question. So you need to be very particular, you need to be very objective. Your knowledge should be comprehensive. Now what generally people do is they study, and then there are various categories of their knowledge. For example, we can categorize some subjects we are very strong in, and in some subjects we are comparatively weaker. For example, there are topics where you are weak, some other topics where you are moderate, and some other topics where you are strong. This is the approach what is basically followed. But when you know this formula, what your strategy becomes is not weak, not moderate, it's always strong, and then stronger, and then strongest, and this is the only formula by which one can actually crack this examination. There is no question of weakness or else moderate. So you'll have to try to attempt all the questions in the question paper, and that is how you can sail the boat. And the last part comes the interview, where your knowledge is actually not tested. What is tested is your personality, your skill to formulate, a decision, take decisions properly. So that will be done only when your knowledge base is very much comprehensive. So from this entire discussion, what we find that we need to change our strategy in order to get through the examination. So if you see the syllabus, main syllabus is the vast. It's a very vast syllabus where you actually study all the subjects. So therefore, start with those core subjects, and then your things will be automatically done. So this is what our new approach is. So therefore, with the help of the question papers, with the help of the syllabus, with this kind of new approach and strategy, what the exam actually requires or demands from the students, one can actually get through the examination. Thank you very much. This is